never seen friends like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Loudermilk Field. We got game 2 of this Piedmont doubleheader. Lions going for a 3-game sweep of the weekend. They won a couple times against Bridgewater already. They're going to take on Ferrum here this afternoon. Here with Davis Barlow, I'm Joe Garwood. Davis, what are you looking for this afternoon?
Joe, super excited to be here. I'm looking for another dominant performance out of the starter. It seems to be the theme for the games this weekend. Dominance on the hill translates to a lightning hot offense there. I mean, just electric when they get in the box. Plenty of bats, plenty of power, everything you can need. The speed has been on display, everything put together. I mean, it has been a dominant weekend for Piedmont.
Getting a start for the Lions today, the left-hander Adam Mativier coming into the game, 1-0, 6.75 ERA for the transfer sophomore from Georgia College. He'll be going up against this lineup for Ferrum, who enters the contest at 3-7. Ozzy Torres, the center fielder, usually number 1, going to be wearing number 48 today. He's followed up by the second hitter, the first baseman Grayson Chitwood. Chitwood hit everything in sight yesterday, went 5 for 6. Third hitter, the DH Nick Funk, who did the catching yesterday, getting a break behind the plate, flipping spots with Elijah Bird, who's the cleanup hitter. He's behind the plate today, was a DH yesterday. 5 through 7, the shortstop Clayton Michael. 6th spot, the third baseman Bryce Sacker. The right fielder Sean Baxter gets the start today. Did not see action yesterday. Dylan Serrano is a second baseman. He also didn't see action. And rounding out the lineup, the left fielder, number 3, Jaden Johnson. And we are ready to go. Torres going to step into the box to face off with Mativier, and we'll have a good weather game, which you love to see here in Demarest in early March. Can't ask for a better day as Mativier will go for the modified, looks like he's actually going for the stretch, and he will deliver a strike over the outside corner, and we're underway here in the series finale, the Piedmont Spring Break Tournament.
This is a big start here for Mativier. You mentioned it, 6.75 ERA, a little bit higher than you'd like to see out of your Sunday starter there. 8 earned runs thus far on the season. Opponents are hitting .356 against him, so a good quality start can really drop those numbers today.
Absolutely. That one's driven out toward left field. That's hit pretty well, turning around a few times, and that one sails way out of here. That was absolutely tagged by Torres, and what a start for Ferrum. Solo blast on the third pitch of the game, and the Panthers have a 1-0 lead.
Wow, that one absolutely crushed. And again, Joseph, we're used to seeing the wind blow out towards right center field, into right field here, but there's a hard breeze coming in that direction. You can see it on the American flag there. I mean, that ball absolutely crushed, no aid from the wind. And
yeah, that was absolutely tagged. It looked like the left fielder Ellis got turned around a little bit, and then he realized he had no chance for that one as Tivier throws a little breaking ball over the plate for a called strike to Chitwood. As we mentioned, he went 5 for 6 yesterday, and Ferrum's lost to Rose Holman.
This Ferrum lineup extremely top-heavy. They've got multiple guys hitting 300 as this one's sprayed out to second errant throw, and that'll be a runner aboard here with no one gone.
Score that one a base hit. Difficult play there for Colton Hicks, having to go far to his right, throw up against his body, and at the left-handed batter's box, Chitwood was going to beat that anyway, as we'll now see the DH Nick Funk step to the plate.
Rough start here for Mativier. Again, we really talked about him using this start to get his numbers back under control and really dominate from the opening pitch, and it's been anything but thus far.
Mativier deals down in the dirt for ball 1. One of the things to look at this year for Piedmont, 3 lefties in their starting rotation. You got Bodie Eilertson, the Friday guy, Saturday guy, Zeke Swartz, who pitched earlier today, and Mativier adds a third lefty, rarely seen.
Oh my.
That one's hit well out to left as well. Ellis back to the track, and he will have just enough room up against the wall. That was a little bit scary if you're a Piedmont fan, but a big out number 1 for Mativier, so you're hoping maybe a little sigh of relief after that first out.
Well, let's make that look a lot easier than it was. It's difficult, especially as an outfielder, when you know you're getting close to that wall, but you can't judge exactly how far you are. But he got his hand out, found that wall, and was able to secure that one there. I don't think it leaves the yard. It probably clanks off the top of the wall.
Either way, that saved at least an extra base hit as Mativier deals a little bit high for ball 1. Also, Ellis, not the tallest out there in left field. It's a nice play by the sophomore. Mativier falls behind 2-0, missed down and away with the fastball there.
We've mentioned Cole Ellis out there in left field. Of course, Carter Ballstat in center, Trace Kate in right. looking like they're going to have an extremely busy day out there. Ooh, good call.
Good pitch there. Motivier clips the outside edge. Gets back in the count, 2-1. Little lefty-lefty platoon advantage for Motivier here. Delayed steal, and looks like he is nabbed. Late break by the runner at first base, Chitwood, and a nice throw there by the catcher, Tyler Nelson.
It's a great job by Nelson. It's a great block on the first hand. Pitches in the dirt. He does a good job to keep it in front. He also keeps it within arm's reach, able to pick it up, throws a dart there, able to peg the runner at second.
That one stung out toward right center field. Getting over to cut it off is Trace Cate. He'll keep Bird from getting extra bases, but another hard hit ball for Ferrum. And now that out on the bases looms even larger because Ferrum's looking at first and third with one out instead. Just a harmless 2-out single. At least you hope it's harmless if you're Motivier. Try to work around it as the shortstop, number 34, Clayton Michaels, steps in.
Big at bat here for Motivier. Good job by him to get ahead here, Joseph. You really can't afford, again, to extend this inning any further than it's been. It's not necessarily a pitch count issue, but at this point, I mean, clearly Ferrum seeing the ball extremely well out of his hand.
Motivier tries to get him to chase an off-speed, misses down and away. One of the things we saw yesterday from Ferrum, they lost to Rose Holman, but it was not because of lack of offense. They put up 12 runs, scored 5 in the ninth to nearly erase a 6-run ninth-inning deficit. Came up just short as Michael spoils one foul out of play to the right.
Yeah, the offense prevalent, especially for Ferrum. Again, the issues not on that side of the field. There was more on the defensive end of the pitching being unreliable here. But, I mean, a shootout in all reality is this one stung out to left. It's right to Ellis. A shootout's right up Piedmont's alley. The offense is the highlight for this team.
1 run on the solo blast by Lopez. We go to the bottom of the first. Piedmont trails 1-0. Welcome back to Loudermilk Field. Joe Gar with Davis Barlow with you here for the series finale for the Lions. Trail 1-0 Ferrum with solo home run in the top half of the first inning. Davis will run down the Piedmont starting 9.
Yeah, well, you've heard some of these names, unfortunately, more than you want to, just through just the top half of the inning. But Cole Ellis to lead off, again, the left fielder, been busy out in the outfield already. Colton Hicks, a highlight player, batting second for Piedmont there. Carter Ballstat in the 3-hole there, followed by the cleanup hitter, Kyle Carlson. He'll need to have a big day at the plate in order for Piedmont to come out on top. Tyler Nelson, the catcher, hitting 5th. Trace Cate, the right fielder, hitting 6th. Carson Stravinskas hitting 7th. He's in the designated hitter spot for today's game. That's more of a platoon role for Piedmont. Nathan Mix, the usual 8-hole hitter, followed by the man who had his first career collegiate home run yesterday, Joseph James Whitmer, in that 9-hole. If you're going to get that kind of power out of Whitmer this year, I mean, that's a great asset to have at the bottom of your lineup.
Whitmer's a guy who had an incredible start to his career. Multiple Rookie of the Week honorees as a freshman back in the shortened 2020 season. And if he can bring some power out of that 9 spot, that Piedmont lineup all of a sudden becomes incredibly deep and incredibly difficult to deal with. And speaking of which, it really starts at the top this year. Cole Ellis steps in. He's hitting .488. I mean, you know it's a good year when his average goes down to .488. He was over 500 to start the day. No home runs, 7 RBI. He's 11 for 11 on stolen bases, so he's been a real problem out of that leadoff spot.
Yeah, I mean, unrealistic numbers, All-American caliber numbers if he can finish the year even remotely close to this. I mean, getting a hit 1 out of every 2 times you go to the plate, basically, is just unheard of.
Even more important, too, you look at that on-base percentage of .569. Like, when you have a dangerous middle of the order like Ballstat and Carlson, that's going to be a recipe for a lot of runs. He hits a little chopper to third base, and that's going to be handled with ease. Ellis retired, and that will bring to the plate Colton Hicks.
Yeah, big drop-off here, Joseph. A whole .33 points drop-off in batting average. Colton Hicks only hitting .455. So, a big drop there. Not really. Colton Hicks, I mean, again, having an incredible caliber year, just barely being overshadowed by the man that bats in front of him.
Hicks recently moved up to the 2 spot in the batting order as well. Had been hitting in near the middle bottom half of the order as he'll take a ball outside. His speed, a really big important factor for Justin Scally, especially hitting ahead of Carter Ballstat.
Hicks is tied for the team lead in stolen bases with Ellis. Hicks being 11 for 13, while Ellis is 11 for 11. This Piedmont team loves to run coming into this game. They're 34 for 42 on stolen base attempts.
That gets back to some of the roots of this program, as that one's hit off the end of the bat in the left. Not really having to move much at all. It's the left fielder, Jaden Johnson, puts it away. Quick out number 2. And now that will bring in the All-American, the home run record holder in Piedmont history, Carter Ballstat. Ballstat 378 on the season, leads the team with 3 bombs and 13 RBIs. One of those home runs, an opposite field blast yesterday.
Yeah, that ball had some good carry. Again, got a lot of help from the wind, but they're not going to get that today. And again, Ballstat able to tag these balls into the gap. He's got a big, long frame. He's able to run. He likes to steal when he gets on base. A real 5-tool player.
5-tool player that can also throw in the high 80s, low 90s with a nasty breaking ball out of the pen when he's right. As he'll take one down low. We'll introduce the Ferrum starting pitcher, Tyler Smith, number 33. Just 3 innings on the season for Smith, running a 9 ERA, 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned with a walk and no strikeouts on the season.
Yeah, that was a big question coming into today, who the starter for Ferrum would be. They went through a lot of pitchers as that one's fouled back off of the backstop there. I mean, again, it was a big question of who Ferrum was going to turn out there, what arms are available in the pen, and if Piedmont could chase the starter early, would we see really some of those back-end guys, than what we call Sunday guys, who maybe don't see action earlier in the series, or guys that are recycled through?
And that one, breaking ball that didn't break, and nabs Ballstat, who will take the easy base but the hard way. He'll wear that one, and now he'll be aboard for Kyle Carlson.
I love that. Breaking ball that didn't break, curveball that didn't curve, slider that didn't slide. Yeah, that was a spinner. And, again, Ballstat, you never want to be hit by a pitch, but if you're going to be hit by a pitch, a slow breaking ball is probably the one that every hitter will choose.
Yes. As Carlson steps in, he went left the yard yesterday as well.
Yeah, he hit a nuke. And that's really the only way to describe. Piedmont had no cheat home runs yesterday. All 3 home runs were absolutely crushed, and Carlson's to left, a true no-doubter.
Carlson, outstanding freshman season. Looks like he's picking up right where he left off here to begin his sophomore year. One important thing, you have a hitter as dangerous as Carter Ballstat, pitchers are going to pitch around him a lot, but you need to have somebody behind him that can make the other teams pay for that approach, as that one is a breaking ball that spins down and away. Good take by Carlson.
Yeah, this is a real 2-man offense opportunity here with Ballstat. Like you said, again, if you pitch around him, you make a mistake, he gaps one, or you allow him a free base here. He's a threat to run, 5 for 5 on stolen bases. Of course, Carlson behind him has the ability to put a ball in a gap, and with 2 down, I mean, you put one deep enough in a gap, Ballstat scores from first. If he's able to take second base during the at-bat, a single scores him.
Yeah, that's being able to nab those extra bases is always going to be critical, where you're a team especially in D3 baseball, where there's going to be a lot of runs scored usually.
Here we go.
And just right on cue, good pitch to run on. Pitch was low, and Ballstat swipes it with ease. Throw was in the dirt, but would have had no chance to get him anyway. And now, just like that, scoring position.
Let's see if we can predict the future here. The next order of business on the script is a single from Ballstat or single from Carlson that scores Ballstat.
Hitters count for Carlson. We're looking to get something over the plate that he can drive. Good pitch there by Smith. Get back in the count. Carlson didn't like what he saw. Takes it for a called strike.
And that's a good pitcher's pitch there. It's a 2-0 breaking ball. You know the hitter's probably sitting on a fastball that's up in the zone, covering that middle portion of the plate. Not likely to swing at a breaking ball unless they're sitting on it.
That's going to stay fair just inside the bag, and here comes Ballstat. He'll score standing up. Carlson on his way to second base, and he will stand there with a 2-out RBI double from the sophomore. And just like that, the Lions create a run with 2 outs and nobody on, and that will bring to the plate Tyler Nelson.
And again, it's a perfect example there of the threat that Ballstat poses if you don't want to pitch to him, because he takes second base. Carlson's double there likely doesn't score him if he's still standing on first. And so rather than second and third and no run crossing the plate, you now have Carlson on second, a dangerous backstop in Tyler Nelson, who can also swing it, and a 1-run advantage, or excuse me, a tied game now.
Good job by the Lions to answer the run that Ferrum put on the board in the top of the first. Good swing by Nelson. Sends it straight back to the screen foul. Another thing with Carlson, he took the 2-0 breaking ball. Looked like another breaking ball. Smith tried to come back with the exact same pitch. This time Carlson was ready for it and put it just right inside the third base bag. 1 now to Nelson. And that's a good pitch by Smith. Paints the outside corner with a fastball, and now Nelson's going to have to battle.
And if you're Nelson here, you just take a look at where all the position players are playing. Left field is extremely deep. Right field is extremely shallow. They're shading you a little bit to the right, but you got to put it in play first.
Nelson swings and misses. 3-pitch strikeout for Smith. Lions tie it up 1-1. We go to the top of the second. Listen to Piedmont Athletics on YouTube. Welcome back to Loudermilk Field. We go to the top of the second inning. Piedmont and Ferrum tied 1-1. Game 2, a doubleheader for the Lions. If you weren't with us earlier, they defeated Bridgewater by a 7-1 score to start off the day. Stepping into the box for the Panthers, number 39, the third baseman Bryce Thacker.
This is a big inning for Mativier here. Your team just went and leveled the score line for you, made up for that first inning home run that you gave up now, and you do exactly what you just did. You come back to the first batter, start with a strike. First batter, important to find an out.
A swing and a miss there by Thacker. And good start for Mativier to jump out ahead 0-2. A lot of options for the left-hander. Just 4 strikeouts in the air. Going to hunt number 5 here. Softly hit to short. Cutting over from third to Carlson. Spins, throws, one hopper, got him. What a play by the third baseman, Kyle Carlson. And Davis, that was the only way that play was going to get made. It had to be made by Carlson.
I was going to say, that ball is trouble. It's the only way to look at it, but Carlson takes a great line to it. He's not afraid to call off the shortstop there, let him know whose ball it is. And, I mean, that's a 1 in 10 throw there made by Carlson. Fantastic job.
Good pick, too, on the opposite end by James Whitmer as well. Stepping in now, number 9, the right fielder, Sean Baxter. And Mativier misses down and in for ball 1. One of the things the Lions have struggled with a little bit the last couple of seasons has been on the defensive side of the ball. If you talk to Coach Justin Scally, a few too many errors, a few too many extra outs given, and that's one thing that has kind of led to their success early on in this year. They have caught the baseball. They have not given those extra outs. They've given their pitchers a lot more to work with. As Mativier hits a couple of good pitches on the outside corner. 2-strike count again.
It's a big thing for pitchers as well to have confidence in your defense. When your defense is making plays like Carlson, as this one trails off just foul down the right field line. But when your defense is making those upper and elite level plays and consistently making the routine plays happen, it gives you confidence to be in the zone and to not require yourself to be so perfect.
Yeah, and that's going to lead to walk numbers going down, pitch counts being less, starting pitchers able to throw deeper into games, and less taxing on your main bullpen arms. It's just kind of a downstream effect. Has a lot of effects that aren't just direct, as that looks like a pretty good pitch by Mativier. Looks like Tyler Nelson wanted the call, but ump rules it either low or inside, and we are even up 2-2. This one poked out toward right center field. Kate darting over, and he got a great jump on that ball, snags it out of midair, and quickly 2 outs for the Lions. Another thing at outfield defense, that was an easy play, but the ball you need to get a good jump on it. You need to see it off the bat well, and Kate absolutely did.
The ball also carried a little bit further, I think, than you and I initially thought it would. I mean, a check swing in the box, and it carries a good 180, 200 feet out into right field.
Mativier will miss outside to the second baseman, Dylan Serrano. Serrano did not play yesterday in a loss to Rose Holman. Ferrum only has played 1 game in this tournament. Piedmont has already played a couple, as Mativier misses up and away for ball 2.
Yes, it's beautiful weather here, Joseph. You wouldn't know that 48 hours ago we were in the middle of a extreme tornado warning, multiple tornadoes south of here, and a torrential downpour for about 4 or 5 hours that canceled all of Friday's games here.
Yeah, if you're unaware, this tournament was supposed to get underway actually on Thursday, but all of Thursday and Friday's action was pushed toward yesterday. We ended up playing 3 games here at Loudermilk Field, and that looked like it definitely caught the plate. May have been low, but either way, Mativier does not get the call, and he's behind in the count. It's right down Main Street and fouled straight back by Serrano.
Serrano on top of that one just couldn't quite make enough solid contact. A little bit under there, dropped the bat head just a little bit too much. Did it again.
Same thing. Those are usually, they say, like, you get 1 pitch at bat to really do some damage with, and Serrano's gotten a couple and hasn't been able to do it. We'll see if Mativier can take advantage of that.
It's a difficult thing to make such a minute adjustment live at the plate here. Obviously, back-to-back swings hasn't been able to make the adjustment. This one he does, though, but it's skied well out to center field.
Ball stack coming on. He will make the call and the catch. 1-2-3 inning. That bounce back inning that Mativier needed. We are tied 1-1. Piedmont coming to bat in the bottom of the second. Welcome back to Inside Loudermilk Field. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Piedmont 1, Ferrum 1. Trace Kate will step into the box when he's ready to go for the Lions. Kate kind of part of a larger theme for the season for Piedmont. 4 of the starting 9 in today's lineup are transfers, and one of which is Kate coming over to Piedmont from local SAA rival Barry. And he's off to a solid start to the year, 286 average, 4 RBIs, a couple of triples amongst his 12 base hits so far this season.
Yeah, he's been a great addition to this team. And again, you said 286 average on a normal baseball squad. That would be near the top. Obviously, with Piedmont just continuing to rake from top to bottom, it is one of the lower averages in the starting lineup. But, I mean, his hard hit percentage has to be through the roof. He mashed a couple baseballs yesterday that didn't result in hits, but they're the type of balls that you really like seeing coming off the bat of your right fielder.
We'll see what kind of two-strike approach Kate has here, down 0-2. Also, we'd like to see second on the team amongst starters in walks with 8. That on-base percentage up over 400, which you love to see. That one's skied up on the infield. Some communication will be needed here for Ferrum. The shortstop, Michael, will make the call and the catch. And there is one down here in the bottom of the second. Stepping up now, the DH, hitting in the 7th spot. Carson Strovinskis. Strovinskis off to a little bit of a tough start at the plate, just 3 for 17, but small sample size so far. Strovinskis got the start behind the plate in game 1. Him and Tyler Nelson flip-flopped for the series finale.
Well, Joseph, this, again, we mentioned it when we first got here. This DH position for Piedmont, kind of like a platoon position. We've seen Blake Sylvie in the position. We've seen Grant Olson get some cuts. We saw Skylar Willis yesterday. A real platoon option right now. Justin Scaly's got a lot of really good talent on that bench, and it's almost like a day-to-day operation of finding out who's going to be the right bat to plug in the spot.
Yeah, it allows him to play matchups and also play the hot hand. Someone gets on a good roll at the dish. He has some flexibility as Stravinskis takes that one just off the plate away. Jumps ahead in the count 2-1. Looks like a little two-seamer there that started off the plate and ran back to the outside edge. Stravinskis wasn't looking for that. Count even 2-2.
Yeah, this is where you have to battle up here. Have to assume that that's a pitch that is in the arsenal of Smith. He might go back to it here. Catcher setting up outside. They went with a breaking ball, but that one, as you referenced earlier, a breaking ball that didn't quite break.
Hard pitch to throw is that front door where you're trying to start it off where it's going to look like it's going to hit the right-handed batter and bend it over the inside. We saw him try to throw it to Carter Ballstad, ended up hitting him. That one just missed inside. And a good at-bat by Stravinskis takes the fastball off the plate away, and he'll make the trot down to first base. 1-on-1 out. The shortstop, Nathan Nix, will come to the plate.
Yeah, if you're Smith, you're frustrated with that sequence there. You've got him 2-2. You leave the breaking ball arm side. Again, it's such a difficult pitch to throw a breaking ball arm side, but then you overcorrect and you pull the fastball there and you end up, walking a hitter that's struggling. That's the worst thing that you want to do.
Now we'll see what Mix can do. This first pitch put in play out towards center. Backing up as a center fielder. Had to go back a little bit more than he wanted to. Ball's carrying very well today as Torres had to get on his horse a little bit there. Either way, we got 2 outs in the inning, and now James Whitmer, last hope for the Lions here in the bottom of the second.
I'm shocked, Joseph. The ball is carrying as well as it is with the wind. And the American flag in right center is such a good, a baseline of what it's like out there in the outfield. And this is not your typical Denver State. Normally there is a hard wind, 10, 15, sometimes upwards of 20 blowing out to right field, but that's not the case today.
Yeah, the way the ball carries here is always hard to put your finger on. We've both been here for a number of years, and some days the ball just absolutely jumps. It looks like it was doing that yesterday as well, as Whitmer takes a called strike on the outside corner. Generous strike call. The home plate umpire there. Whitmer's going to have to adjust to that. Stretch and the pitch from Smith. And that one finds the heart of the plate, just below the letters, and Whitmer hasn't taken the bat off his shoulder, and he's got an 0-2 count. As I mentioned earlier, Whitmer left the yard for the first time in his career yesterday in the 14-2 win over Bridgewater. Reached base 3 times in the first game of this doubleheader today. Overall, Whitmer comes in at 263. Home run, 1 home run, 5 RBIs. And that one will be swung over the top of by Whitmer. Down go the Lions in the bottom of the second inning. We'll head to the top of the third, all tied up, 1 apiece. We head to the top half of the third inning here at the Milk Jug. Piedmont and Ferrum tied 1-1. Leading off for the Panthers, number 3, the left fielder Jaden Johnson. 1 for 4 in the series. And that one will just miss off the plate from Mativier. 9-1-2, very important when the 9-hitter leads off the inning to take care of that hitter. The last thing you want to do is issue a leadoff walk, and Mativier is down on the count 2-0. Mativier back in the count, gets a called strike, 2-1. Torres waiting on deck. He led off the game with a home run. Trying to drop down a bunt down the third baseline, and Johnson bunts it foul.
Good idea there from Johnson. Carlson a little bit deeper, definitely not expecting the bunt out of the 9-hole hitter there, but it's a great way to manufacture a runner on base.
Mativier will also take it from his end, though. Gets a stolen strike almost, and now he's just 1 strike away from a punch out. And he gets it. High fastball swung right over the top of by Johnson. Looks like he was a little bit fooled by that pitch coming out of his hand, and 1 quick out for the Piedmont left-hander, and now we'll see what he can do with Ozzy Torres.
Yeah, great pitch location there. Started right at or just above the numbers there. Johnson expecting it to be a breaking ball and drop back down. Never did. Other square to bunt.
Bunts it too hard. Turn and fire, and that's a little bit of a gift there for Mativier, and the guy that just left the yard on you the first at bat of the game, and Torres bunts it, tried to drop down a bunt, had the same idea Johnson had. He just bunted a little bit too hard and in the wrong direction.
And that's one of those things, Joseph, again, you talk about players leave the yard and then their instinct is to try to do it again, and more times than not you end up popping up there. So just trying to play a little small ball. Defense respected the power, and you try to sneak one down, but can't execute the bunt well enough.
Fouled back by Chitwood, who reached on an infield hit in the first inning. He's 6 for 7 here at Loudermilk Field. He's going to be someone that doesn't want to leave this place. Must be seeing the ball well off of the batter's eye. Breaking ball and spoiled foul off to the left, and now Chitwood's going to have to battle down 0-2. A lot of options here. We'll see if he goes breaking ball away or maybe fastball at the letters. Goes breaking ball away, poked, diving to his left. Carlson gets up, and the throw is just a hair late. Another outstanding diving play by Carlson, but I think maybe coming out of the left-handed batter's box saved Chitwood there.
Yeah, Chipwood can move down that line as well. Definitely one of the faster players on the team there. So the combination, maybe a little bit more pace on the ball, getting to Carlson. Yeah, I think it was hit just soft enough.
Regardless, nice play again by the Piedmont third baseman. 2 out, 1 on for the DH, Nick Funk. And the pitch is away, and Nelson tries to throw back behind the runner. Gets away from Whitmer a little bit, but no harm, no foul.
It's a good job by Whitmer to get his body in front of that one. It's a short hop throw there. You don't have the runner, so the priority isn't to make the tag. Priority is to keep the ball in the infield, or at least get a body part on it.
So the last thing you want to do is to give up an extra base in that situation. As Mativier misses down and in, 2-0. And we'll see if he can battle back in the count. Funk went 2 for 4 in yesterday's game against Rose Holman. Good pitch there, got in on his hands, right off the fists, and fouled straight back by Funk.
Fastball seems to be working extremely well for Mativier. Breaking ball a little bit shaky sometimes, a little bit too low. Sometimes it catches a little bit too much of the plate. They went to the old reliable, and they're not going to get the call.
Yeah, it looked like a decently competitive pitch. Just didn't get the chase there from Funk, and now a dangerous 3-1 count for Mativier. Driven out toward left center field. Ballstack got a good jump on it. He'll glide over into left center and make the grab. Fires it back toward the infield. Piedmont out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the third, tied up 1-1. Welcome back to Loudermilk Field. We go to the bottom of the third inning. A new pitcher on for Ferrum. It's going to be number 44, Raleigh Walker. Comes into the contest 0-1, a 7.50 ERA. He's worked 6 innings this year. Allowed 7 runs with 5 walks and 6 strikeouts. Looks like this is going to be more of a bullpen game for Ferrum. Just try to fill the innings however they can, whoever's available.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a great opening start there from Tyler Smith. He allows just 1 run in 2 innings there. No real concern as far as, contact. Only 1 hit for Piedmont thus far, but I think you're correct here. Just kind of a bullpen game again. It's what we expected. We knew Ferrum probably didn't have the depth on the roster to really turn out a starter and a couple elite arms out of the bullpen here, so it'll be a group effort to get the job done here.
Also, 1 time through the order, Smith faced 9 hitters. Now we're starting back up the top again with Cole Ellis, grounded out in the first inning. And that one misses down and in. Looks like Walker's got some decent velo on the fastball. That had a little extra pop in the catcher's mitt.
Yeah, love to see that.
And that one misses down in the dirt. One of the things going through Walker's numbers, hasn't thrown a ton of innings on the year, just 6 innings. He's issued 5 walks in those 6 innings, so almost a walk per inning, but also a strikeout per inning.
And seems to be one of those middle relief guys as well. Again, appeared in 2 contests with 6 innings, averaging about 3. It makes sense for this kind of contest.
Cole Ellis sitting on a 2-0 fastball, got it, just couldn't quite get his bat to it. Fouled it straight back, 2-1 the count now to the Piedmont leadoff man. Breaking ball, that one smacked into left field. That's down for a base hit. And that's something we are saying, sounding like a broken record, but we're not. Cole Ellis, leadoff single. It's good pitch recognition by Ellis. He got a 2-0 fastball, didn't quite get to it. Then Walker tried to go breaking ball, and Ellis, he hung it a little bit, and Ellis just sat on it. Didn't try to do too much, just a absolute laser of a line drive to left field.
And this is where the danger begins. Cole Ellis yet to be caught stealing, 11 for 11, tied for the team lead in stolen bases, and he gets a big lean over there, Joseph, and he claps his hands. I think he thinks probably should have had second there.
Yeah, we'll see if he's off and running here. That was a good pitch to hit for Colton Hicks. All over it, fouled it straight back to the screen. Potentially a breaking ball count, 0-1. We'll see if it's a good one to run on for Ellis. And he'll check on the runner. Ellis dives back in safely.
Walker on the same page as us up here. He knows that he probably needs to give Colton Hicks something that is not a straight fastball based on that last pitch, but I mean, you can't just hand Ellis second base.
He'll check again. Ellis back easily. Potentially able to get one more, maybe just a hair bigger of a lead. Obviously don't want to get picked off, but he dove back pretty easily there. Looks like he's got at least has a feeling of a pretty good read on the move of Raleigh Walker. Third time in a row, and back to first base.
That was very interesting stance over there. More of an open ended stance. He's almost facing more or less towards the left field foul pole than he is the Piedmont dugout.
Looks like a little bit of a lean too. Not going here. Ellis not going. Hicks will get jammed and pop it out to the shortstop. Michael will make the grab. One where the extra velo there by Walker got in on the hands of Hicks. Couldn't quite get the barrel to the ball, and now Carter Ballstat, who was hit by a pitch, stole second, and then came around to score the lone Piedmont run of the game back in the first inning.
Yeah, if you're Ballstat here again, you've gotten a couple batters worth now of visual reports from Walker here. He likes to start with the fastball. It's got a little bit extra velo. You try to be on time here for this first pitch, especially if it's in the zone.
Fourth time, we have a pickoff attempt at first. Fourth time, Ellis dives back in safely. Stung foul just past the third base bag. More times too, you get Walker to throw over, the better look you should get at that move.
Looked like a breaking ball there. I don't quite think it was in the zone either. Looked to be about knee level, a little bit below. Be interested to see if he goes breaking balls only to Ballstat or comes back with a fastball.
Instead, he'll go to first base, and Ellis will dive back in for the fifth time. The new MLB rules this year, that would be all that's allowed. Another big lead for Ellis. Now he's going. Pitch is fouled straight back by Ballstat.
Ballstat got the fastball in the zone. It's unfortunate because I think Ellis had second base taken there, but if you're Ballstat, I mean, I don't know if you can pass on a fastball right down the middle.
Yeah, Ballstat, 12 home runs last year. Piedmont record. Broke the career home run record of his brother, Brady Ballstat, earlier this year. A historic career as a Piedmont Lion. 0-2 pitch, and he got it past him. Fastball swung right over the top of by Ballstat, and there are 2 gone in the inning for Kyle Carlson.
Yeah, it's the velo again. It's a little bit sneaky coming out of Walker's hand, but it's definitely faster than the starting pitcher Smith. And now again, I mean, you're in a situation where Cole Ellis with 2 outs kind of has to manufacture that opportunity.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if we don't see him on the move during this at-bat, and probably early on in the at-bat. We're also probably going to see at least a couple of throws over to first. As Walker goes to the plate, misses down and away for ball one to Carlson. Carlson drove home ball stat with a double down the third base line back in the first. And there is the throw over. Tries to get him to chase after a 1-0 breaking ball, and that one is a good take by Carlson. And now he's got himself a 2-0 count.
If I'm Ellis here, I have to be running. It's 2-0. There's two down. You know Carlson's either going to get a really good pitch to hit or it's a breaking ball, and you'll have second base free.
Surprisingly not going. Carlson puts it out toward right center field. Right fielder giving chase, center fielder cutting over, and it will be the right fielder, Sean Baxter, to make the running grab just shy of the warning track. Lions leave one on. Leadoff hit doesn't amount to anything. We go to the top of the fourth inning. Piedmont 1, Ferrum 1. We head to the top half of the fourth inning here at Loudermilk Field. Piedmont and Ferrum tied 1 run apiece. Lions starter Adam Mativier working into the fourth. He surrendered a leadoff home run to start the game to Isaiah Torres and has settled in since then. Stepping in to lead things off for the Panthers here in the fourth inning, it'll be Elijah Bird. And we'll take a breaking ball that doesn't quite clip the plate. 1-0 the count. Lefty-lefty matchup. And that one is hit sharply through the right side, and Bird will reach with a leadoff single.
Now back to the Panthers, shortstop number 34, Clayton Michael.
That'll be up to the shortstop, Clayton Michael. We'll see what kind of strategy the Panthers rather have here. Do we go small ball? Do we take the bat out of Michael's hands, or do we drop down the bunt? We have our answer. He drops down the bunt. Nice play off the mound by Mativier. He'll underhand toss it to the first baseman Whitner. Sacrifice works to perfection. Bird into scoring position with 1 out.
That's a great bunt attempt as well. Left-handed pitchers fall off the mound to the third base side rather than the first base side. It's just a momentum and physics thing there. It's a difficult play for the pitcher to fall off the mound one way and then get back the other way to field the bunt cleanly.
Good agility there by Mativier to be able to change directions and get over to field that one. This one is poked into right field by Thacker, and coming on is Trace Cate. Another good jump by the right fielder. Looks like a couple times a day, he's gotten some nice jumps on some soft line drives to take away potential base hits. And that's like that, 2 outs in an inning. That's what you love to see if you're Piedmont. A lot of at-bats ending early in counts.
2 pitches, 2 outs there from Metivier. Extremely efficient. He's got a chance to escape this inning unscathed as well, and it really looks like he's settled in well out there.
Sean Baxter, the hitter, and he will take a ball. Looks like maybe just down and away. Baxter made a nice running grab to end the Piedmont threat on Carlson's line drive to right center field, the bottom half of the third. This one, another one hit out toward right center. Ballstad got a good jump, tracks back, makes the grab, and just like that, a very quick and efficient top half of the 4th inning for Adam Metivier. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Lions looking to take the lead. Game tied, 1-1. After a incredibly efficient top half of the 4th inning for Piedmont starter Adam Metivier, Lions bats are back to work here the bottom half of the 4th inning. Leading things off for Piedmont will be the catcher Tyler Nelson. Nelson, a strikeout victim his first time against a different pitcher, Tyler Smith. We'll see if like word can get through the Piedmont dugout that this new starter, or the new pitcher for Ferrum, Raleigh Walker, has a little extra velo on the fastball. See if the Lions can put up some damage here in the 4th.
Lions on pace right now for a season low in runs scored in a game, Joseph. Thus far this season, they've scored more than 7 runs in nearly 75% of their over 75% of their contests.
It's a stat that you'd love to see if you're a Piedmont Lions fan, as Nelson will take a breaking ball down low for a ball 1.
Piedmont 8-3 on the season. They've only scored less than 7 runs twice. It was the 5-4 win here over Lynchburg, and then the 7-6 loss at Cal Lutheran.
That one misses inside. 2-0. Lions suffered 3 losses this year. 2 of them have been by 1 run. The other one a loss here at home to Brevard earlier this week by just 2 runs. And that one's fouled off. Nice snag there by head coach Justin Scally with the right hand. 2-1 the count. If you're a believer in run differential showing the true skill of a team, you have to like what you're seeing from Piedmont this year. Some blowout wins and no real blowout losses. As that one will hit Nelson on the shoulder. It looks like that one hurt. And he will take the slow trot down to first base, try to regain feeling in that left shoulder. That's Trace Kate will step in.
Nelson's gotten all kind of beat up, Joseph. He took a foul ball off the foot while catching yesterday that clearly razzled him a little bit. That one definitely didn't feel good. And again, it's the life of a D3 backstop.
Yeah, it always seems to work out that catchers who are going to get beat up anyway just by the nature of their position, they almost always typically also tend to be near the team lead and hit by pitches, and Nelson now takes the team lead. That's his 7th hit by pitch of the season.
Ooh. I don't think that's a stat anybody chooses to hold or really wants to hold.
And that one's fouled straight back. Kate did a good hack at that one. Speaking of hit by pitches, the Piedmont record holder for hit by pitches, Kyle DeJesus, also a catcher.
Just rewinding to the schedule here, you mentioned Piedmont 8-3, only 3 losses on the year. Piedmont's led in 10 out of the 11 contests that they played in, and the only time they didn't lead, they trailed by 1.
Kate will dodge out of the way of that one. Didn't want to suffer the same fate as his teammate Nelson. And he'll look to hit his way on base with an even count, 1-1. Yeah, certainly just being competitive in every single game is a mark of a true good team, because there's going to be some days where either your starting pitcher doesn't have it and your offense is going to have to put up a big number of runs to keep you close. And there's going to be some days where your offense is not going to have it. You're going to face a tough starter yourself, and you're going to need your starters to keep you in the ballgame. Good breaking ball by Walker. That one had Kate diving out of the way. Looks like he wasn't quite sure about that called strike there, and he'll have to battle down 1-2.
And it's really the tale of two different stories here, Joseph, for these teams. Ferrum, of course, 3-7 coming into today's contest here, and a two-game loss streak to start the season. They win 3 straight, and now currently on a 5-game losing skid, and trying to use the Lions as that barrier to stop it. But, I mean, again, it's been an uphill fight for this squad.
Trying to salvage something out of this weekend, as we mentioned yesterday. I think surrendered 13 runs and I lost to Rose Holman. A big cut again by Kate, fouls it straight back off of the catcher. May have got the umpire as well. And we'll do the 1-2 all over again. Nelson, one of the few Lions in the starting lineup that's not really a threat to run. He has 2 stolen bases in 3 attempts so far this year. DH Stravinskis in the on-deck circle. And fastball that Walker held on to a little bit too long, missed down and away, and Kate has run the count even to 2-2. Panthers in double play depth. Plenty of room on that right side between the second baseman and first baseman, who's holding on Nelson. And Walker with a little courtesy check on Nelson before he throws the next 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Walker will spoil that one. That was a good pitch by Walker. Kate spoiled. And we'll do the 2-2 all over again. Haven't had a ton of deep counts on either side in this game. Both pitchers getting the ball in the strike zone, making the hitters be aggressive, put the ball in play early on in counts. Here comes another 2-2. And that's a fastball that buzzes the tower of Kate again. And this is a good at-bat, a bat you expect from a experienced player. It's one of the reasons why Coach Justin Scally explored the transfer, went the transfer route, let's say, and brought in a lot of experienced players to this team. And a swing and a miss. That may have been ball 4. Good pitch by Walker, just enticing enough for Kate to try to go after it, and he couldn't quite climb the ladder and get it. 1 down.
And Joseph, you mentioned all the transfers here. I believe it's 11 total for Piedmont this year on this squad, and it's not like a couple of transfers who are coming in and taking some time to get adjusted to the program. I mean, it's transfers playing significant amounts of innings, seeing a lot of at-bats, throwing meaningful innings for the Lions.
We'll see what Stravinskis can do. Took a walk in his first plate appearance and was left stranded. Definitely cannot accuse Walker of neglecting the base runners at first base. He's checked on him just about everybody, and another hit by pitch, and it's another backstop. Not playing catcher in this game, but Stravinskis caught the first game of the day, and he'll wear one as well. And the Lions, a painful way to start a rally. Runners at first and second, and Nathan Mix will step in.
Painful way to get it going, but a meaningful opportunity here, especially. You've only got 2 hits in the contest, and now you've been granted 2 runners on base practically for free, and that's going to draw some attention out of that Ferrum bullpen.
Looks like we're going to have a mound visit. Not sure if we're going to have a pitching change or not.
Don't think so, but the
Looks like-
activity just beginning in that bullpen.
Yeah, it looks like the head coach for the Ferrum Panthers signaled toward the bullpen to get going. Walker's really done a pretty good job to start. He's going to be an uncomfortable at bat, a guy that has a really good fastball, a breaking ball that moves a lot, and has also hit 2 batters. So it's if you can call it maybe effectively wild.
I think so. I think that's a good description.
And we'll see what
The effectiveness might have run out, though, considering the 2 hit by pitches.
we'll see what Mix can do. He flew out his first time at the dish.
This puts you in a difficult spot as Mix, Joe, because, again, you've seen that he's all over the place. He, in reality, threw ball 4 to Kate. He's also hit 2 people in his inning, but at the same time, I mean, he throws a lot of extremely competitive pitches.
Stretch in the pitch, and that one looks like it missed down and in. Catcher Bird was unable to squeeze it, may have taken away any chance to get a called strike there.
And so now, again, an even more difficult situation. Do you be aggressive if you get a fastball that you like, or, do you kind of spit on it and say, all right, I'm going to make you throw me 3 strikes before I even really take a real attempt at this?
And it looks like that approach may be in effect as Mix takes a fastball down and away, 2-0 the count. So might all really most of the time we know 3-0 is an automatic take. And this might be a scenario where 2-0 is as close to an automatic take as you can get, especially bottom of the lineup. Mix not a guy with a ton of over the fence home run power. And there's Walker getting back in the count, finds the zone, 2-1.
Yeah, definitely a 2-0 take there. And now you settle back in and become ready. If he throws that pitch again, green light, take a hack. And you still have to be picky enough, though, because he hasn't showed you the type of true control that's going to show you 3 strikes in a row.
And tries to go. Oh, that's a strike call on the outside, near the outside corner, let's say.
Generous.
And Mix, a little bit of a late call as well. Now Mix is going to have to battle 2-2. Looked very similar to the 1-0 pitch that was called a ball. We'll see what Walker does with the 2-2.
Now your zone expands. Can't go down on strikes here. You've got to at least move the runners. Okay, wow, our first pitch clock violation. How about that? That's the first one we've gotten here this year. The 20, I guess that was a fast 20 seconds.
Yeah, it didn't look like he took an exorbitant amount of time to throw that pitch, but field umpire blew it dead right before he was about to begin his stretch, and that's a big pitch there. Now it's 3-2, nowhere to go. Mix puts it in play. That's going to get through the right side of the infield. Coming around third, Nelson. He's going to be held up.
Good choice.
Smart play. You saw the Piedmont third base coach Luke Harris all the way down near home plate to get the good angle, hold up Nelson. Now bases will be loaded with 1 out.
And then you look at hindsight 2020, though, Joseph, that throw went to second. It did not come towards the plate. I think Ferrum was fully prepared to concede the run there.
Yeah, I'm not really.
It doesn't make sense. The throw should have come home. But
like a good throw, because he fielded, Baxter, the right fielder, fielded that pretty shallow. A good throw to the plate. Nelson's he's a catcher. He doesn't run horribly. He's an average runner, and that would have been at least a close play at the plate. And Whitmer stings one to right field. That's going to be just foul.
Wow.
Just a little too much hook on it for the Piedmont first baseman. There's a good chance that clears the bases as Mix runs pretty well at first.
He got a great jump on that ball as well. Mix was almost standing on top of second base by the time that ball landed foul.
Yeah, the angle that was hit, that was an automatic pretty much run. Once you read that, it's a line drive. That's not going to get caught. And just a hair foul. 0-1 out of Whitmer. And that's a good pitch. Looks like something off speed that he was just able to barely get a piece of. And now he's going to have to battle down 0-2. Whitmer was a strikeout victim on 3 pitches against Smith in his first at-bat. His first time seeing Walker. Does have the platoon advantage, doesn't. Walker doesn't have the ability with that breaking ball potentially be less effective against a left-handed hitter than a righty. But now Whitmer's going to have to protect the plate.
Great fight.
And he does just that. That looked like a very competitive pitch by Walker, and Whitmer almost took that one out of the catcher's glove.
It's a great fight there by Whitmer, and you can't afford to go down on strikes here. I mean, the big fear is hitting into a double play, but at the same time, you have to put this ball in play somewhere.
Infield playing back. Looks like going to try to turn double play up the middle, almost concede a run on the corners, and a great pitch there by Walker. Beautiful breaking ball to the back foot of Whitmer. He swings right over the top of it, and a big second out for the Panthers.
Well, this is the guy you want at the plate if you're in this situation.
Ellis was the first batter that Walker faced, and he hit a sharp single to left field to lead off the Piedmont third. First time that Walker's going to have to see for a second time. We'll see how that affects things. 2 outs, runners will be moving on contact. First pitch swing, popped up just out into shallow right field. They're going to need to communicate. They do. Baxter calls off the second baseman, and Piedmont leaves the bases loaded. Still tied up. We go to the 5th. Welcome back to Loudermilk Field. Joe Garwood, Davis Barlow with you as the Piedmont Lions are battling the Ferrum Panthers. Tied up 1-1. Piedmont with a pitching change. 4 solid innings from the left-handed starter, Adam Mativier. They're going to bring on number 44, right-hander Zach Courtwright into the contest. Courtwright, 2 appearances so far this year, 1 start. He's got a 1.93 ERA. He's only thrown 4 2/3 innings. He's given up just 1 earned run, a couple of walks, and 3 strikeouts for Courtwright. And we'll see. Number 10, second baseman Dylan Sereno will step in. 8-9-1 due up for Ferrum here in the top of the 5th. Almost halfway home here at the Milk Jug.
Yeah, this was a great choice here by Piedmont. Get a fresh arm in there again. Mativier looked good. He really settled in as we got deeper into this game here. But as we near the halfway point, it's important to keep a fresh arm out there, really keep this Ferrum team guessing. They were starting to see the ball really well, and they'd seen it well from the jump. Mativier did a great job to limit the damage to just 1.
Yeah, kind of potentially wanting to give Courtwright, you definitely didn't. You wanted to be aware of, as that one misses down on the dirt, of having Mativier face the top of the order for a third time through, because we know that third time through is where batting average is, like slugging, everything goes way up typically. And you also didn't want to put Courtwright in a situation where he was going to have to come on with a mess to inherit, so might as well have him start the inning with a clean look.
Exactly. I'm a big fan of the advanced analytics movement. And, well, speaking of movement, a lot of movement on that ball and not a lot of movement of the bat. That is a strikeout looking.
That was, as we mentioned earlier, the front door breaking ball from a right-hander to a right-handed hitter. That's a tough pitch to execute, and Courtwright absolutely locked up Sereno there. Pitch misses high to Jaden Johnson, the left fielder. 9-hole hitter. Strikeout victim his first time at the dish. Courtright misses down and away. Count 2-0.
Big 2-0 pitch. Don't want to go down here 3-0, but you also can't leave it too much over the plate, and that one is mashed to left field.
Yeah, Johnson got a good one to hit, did not miss it, and that will set the table for the top of the order. Torres coming up for the third time. He led off the game, the only damage of the game for Ferrum. Leadoff home run against Mativier in the first. Breaking ball from Courtright misses down and away. And now we'll see the first time Courtright has to go to the stretch. We'll see what he can do with the top of this Ferrum batting order. Game tied 1-1 here in the fifth.
And that's a danger, Joseph. Anytime you fall behind, you have to, you know, especially with 2-0, you feel like you're forced to throw a strike there, and hitters are still looking to swing at 2-0. That's the difference between 2-0 and 3-0 there. And again, just left that one a little bit up. Jaden Johnson struggling coming into today, definitely seeing the ball a lot better. So, you know, if you're a Panther fan, that's great for him, but they are not seeing that curveball well at all. That's the second time that Courtright's frozen a hitter with that pitch.
Gets back in the count. He's up in the count now, 1-2. We'll see if he doubles up with it. That was such a good pitch. It's very tempting, too. Put in play, one hop. Carlson gets one at second. Too fast is Torres for them to turn the double play. But certainly an outcome you'll take if you are the Lions. Good pitch. Got the chase. Didn't get the swing and miss, but got the chopper on the infield. It just works just as good. And now we'll have Grayson Chitwood step in.
Dangerous situation always with Chitwood at the plate here, but 2 down, just a runner on first, and Torres can move here, as we just saw, so you've got to be careful of a gapped baseball.
Stretching the pitch. Looks like change up there, trying to get a little bit of a chase on the first pitch, and Chitwood stays off of it. 1-0 the count. Torres comes into the day 2 for 2 on stolen bases. That one's hit sharply through the right side. That'll get through for a base hit. Holding at second base is Torres. That'll put a runner on scoring position, 2 on base. And now the right-handed hitting Nick Funk will step in.
Does that make Chitwood 7 for 8 or 8 for 9 here at Loudermilk?
I believe he is 2 for 3 today.
He's 3 for 3 today.
Make that 3 for 3 today. He is.
Wow. He's 8 for 9 at Loudermilk. He is. Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. He's not going to want to leave. He might just skip the team bus ride and just hang out for a little bit.
Not the guy you want to see up if you're Piedmont. That's a breaking ball that squirts away from Nelson just a little bit. Kind of got unlucky there. Got in front of it. Looks like the wild pitch will move runners up to second and third. And now you got 2 runners in scoring position and puts a lot more pressure on the Piedmont infield and on Nelson to keep everything in front. The go-ahead run is now standing 90 feet away. 1-0 pitch. That one also gets away from Nelson. Not far enough for Torres to make a mad dash for home plate. 2-0. You do have first base open if you are Courtright, but maybe not too keen on loading the bases.
Let's say you've got an Elijah Bird on deck who's 2 for 2 today already. The lefty catcher there is as big of a threat as any in this lineup.
Dangerous pitch coming. Here comes the 2-0.
Good pitch.
Edge must have missed low. 3-0. That was a good pitch. Tried to steal a strike with a 2-0 breaking ball. Just didn't get the call.
Never a big fan of just being uncompetitive with pitches here, Joseph, but I think the best case scenario here is probably just going ahead and putting them on.
And that's what happens. Fastball misses low. Looked like Courtright took a little extra half-second stare down at home plate Looked like he wanted at least one of those two pitches, didn't get either of them, and now he's got nowhere to put anyone as the left-handed hitting catcher, Elijah Bird, is scheduled to hit, trying to get his gear off. As we are slowly waiting him. Now he's headed to the plate.
Next up the bat for the Panthers, catcher number 14, Elijah Bird.
Bases loaded, 2 out. Probably the highest leverage moment of the game so far here in the top half of the 5th inning. 1-1 tie. Oh, it goes off speed again, and this one misses down and in. Courtwright, he snapped up a couple of incredibly good breaking balls. Hasn't found the zone the last couple, though.
And the fastball is being seen really well by this
1-0, and that
squad.
one finds the zone. Good pitch there by Courtwright. Even sings up 1-1.
That's a huge pitch there, Joseph. Again, you can't afford to fall behind 2-0 in this situation.
1-1, tries to go back foot breaking ball, and good eye by Bird to take that one, and that's a big swing count. If he gets a chase there, now you're looking at 1-2, and you got the advantage. He gets a take. Now it's 2-1, and Courtwright is in a little bit of a dangerous situation here.
Great block by Tyler Nelson as well, kept it in front within view, and
good pitch, chopped at the plate. That will trickle foul off to the right side. And now 2 strikes, 2 balls, 2 outs, and Courtwright 1 strike away from working out of the jam.
You have to think he goes breaking ball here.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes back foot or tries to go back door on the outside edge. Got the swing and the miss. Great pitch by Courtwright. Clutch moment for the right-hander. Ferrum strands 3. We're tied 1-1 going to the bottom of the 5th. Halfway home here at Loudermilk Field. New pitcher coming on for Ferrum in a 1-1 ball game. Number 54, Wyatt Chaffin. Third pitcher of the ball game for the Panthers. Takes over for Raleigh Walker, who did a good job keeping Piedmont off the scoreboard. Numbers on Chaffin coming into today. He's made 3 appearances. Each have been 1 inning. We'll see if he tries to get stretched out any longer. Has not allowed any earned runs with 1 strikeout.
Both bullpens, Joseph, have made huge pitches with the bases loaded. Cole Ellis flew out to end the last Piedmont half inning, and then, of course, Zach Courtwright just escaped that one with the bases loaded there to keep us at a level contest, 1-1.
Colton Hicks, after taking a ball off the plate, he skies the next pitch foul to even things up at 1-1. Overall, so far, it's been a well-played game, well-pitched. A couple timely hits. The leadoff blast to start the game by Ferrum. And Hicks with a big cut, swings right through that one. Hicks coming off a big game one, had 3 hits in the opener. And now he'll try to set the table for Carter Ballstat.
A pair of flyouts today here. Might need to level out the swing just a little bit, really drive one directly at the shortstop. Ooh, friendly break.
Knees buckled there. Hicks gave a little long look to the umpire like, are you sure? And he will live to see another pitch, 2-2 the count. And another good take by Hicks. Good competitive at bat. Runs the count full 3-2.
Great understanding of the zone as well to be comfortable taking both of those pitches in that situation where you have 2 strikes.
This one's put in play. 1 hop. Nice grab by the third baseman Thacker. Fired across the diamond in time for out number 1.
Good run there by Hicks. Made it competitive and forced the third baseman to do everything cleanly.
I'll bring in Carter Ballstat. Has scored the lone run of the game. One of 3 Lions to be hit by pitches so far today. Ballstat took the hit by pitch, swiped second base, and came around to score on a Kyle Carlson 2-out double. And breaking ball doesn't quite make it all the way back to the zone. 1-0 the count. Ballstat a strikeout victim in his second at bat. This will be his third at bat, third different pitcher that he's faced for Ferrum. Kind of what you see in a lot of like modern, kind of like a modern baseball thing where if you don't have a starter that you trust to go deep, you're going to see a lot more bullpen games, and so hitters don't get the same guy twice. As Ballstat spoils that one foul down the left field line.
Yeah, you see a lot of that in this, especially the MLB playoffs where managers are uncomfortable sending guys through the lineup more than once, or at the collegiate level you see it a lot in midweek games, which, to be fair, with the schedule and everything, this feels a lot like a midweek game.
Ballstat lifts one into right center field. Drifting over the center fielder Torres. He'll make the call and the catch. And quickly, 2 are out. Piedmont offense going a little dormant here in the middle innings. We'll see if Kyle Carlson can change that. He certainly has the ability to. On one swing, he left the yard, as we mentioned yesterday, on an absolute bomb to left field.
And it's funny enough, Joseph, we thought we were getting into a shootout with the way the first inning went with both teams scoring, and we have been in a pitcher's duel ever since.
Both teams settling down. Both teams pitching in probably a little better shape than you would expect on a Sunday. Usually, as Carlson, that's the 4th hit by pitch for the Lions. They have certainly will be battered and bruised going into Monday. They'll be glad to have at least a couple days off, as Tyler Nelson will step in. He was hit by a pitch in his last at bat.
Next up for the Lions, catcher number 1, Tyler Nelson.
But usually this will be the 3rd game of a series on Sunday, but with the weather changes, Ferrum is only playing their 2nd game. They did have to dip into their bullpen extensively yesterday, but Piedmont, even though this is their 3rd game, Bodie Allardson, Piedmont only used 2 pitchers in the win over Bridgewater yesterday, and they only used 2 pitchers in the game 1 win today. So both teams, or at least Piedmont, with a wealth of options in the bullpen for the series finale.
Yeah, Piedmont having a very deep bullpen there. We've, again, like you said, only a couple pitchers used in each contest. There's a lot of familiar names to the Piedmont faithful that haven't even gotten to throw this weekend, so we know there's options still available in that bullpen.
That's a breaking ball that gets away. Catcher has trouble finding it. Carlson will try to take third base, throw down to third, and he's going to stand at third base. That one almost got away, and that's just great base running awareness there by Kyle Carlson.
Yeah, the Ferrum catcher losing track of that baseball as well, and no one was helping him with it. There was no one pointing or directing him to where the ball was. He kind of just stood there in a confused state, and heads up base running by Carlson noticed the confusion and able to steal third base. And now you're in a situation where you can almost manufacture a run again on a ball in the dirt.
Puts a lot of pressure on the catcher. I'm going to potentially take the breaking ball in the dirt away from the pitcher.
Oh.
That one is nearly spiked, or it was spiked. Good block, though, by the catcher.
That was a
Bird.
backhanded pick. That is not in any instruction from a coach there. That is highly advised against.
Nelson just out ahead of that one. Launches it foul. Just needs to wait on that just a hair longer, and that's trouble.
Speaking of advised against, I think everyone supporting Ferrum would advise the pitcher not to throw that pitch again.
Big decision pitch coming here. 2-2 count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. 1-1 ball game. And Nelson off the end of the bat cues it over to first. And that will be 3 unassisted for the putout. Lions leave a runner in scoring position in the 5th. We are still tied 1-1 as we go to the 6th. Welcome back to Latimer Field, where a pitcher's duel has broken out here in the series finale on Sunday afternoon between Ferrum and Piedmont. We're tied 1-1. Piedmont right-hander Zach Courtright on for his second inning of work out of the pen. Got a clutch, bases-loaded strikeout to strand 3 in the 5th. We'll face off against the 5, 6, 7 hitters in the lineup for Ferrum. As looks like we're going to have a
equipment malfunction. So Nelson headed out to have Courtright help him adjust something on the back part of his uniform here. Or his catcher's gear, I should say.
They say the pitcher and catcher should be in tune with one another, and that's an example of it right there. Looks like we're all set to go now as Nelson jogs back behind the plate and gets into his crouch. Interesting start to the top half of the 6th inning. Courtright going from the windup. You can tell he has starting experience. And we'll miss down and away for ball 1.
Piedmont still just 3 hits in the contest, Joseph, to the 7 of Ferrum there. And again, it's a very good limit and a testament to the Piedmont pitching staff to not have conceded more than 1 run just yet.
Yeah, the only run that the Panthers have scored was a leadoff homer by Torres to start the game. Everything since then, they've scattered the rest of those 6 hits pretty well. Piedmont has had more hit by pitches than hits so far on the offensive end, 4-3. And Courtright behind in the count at 3-1. Certainly don't want to issue a leadoff walk. Looks like there's some activity, some milling around in the Piedmont bullpen. That one's skied out towards center. Ball stat broke back. Now comes striding in to make the grab, and we have 1 out. And that's certainly something you'll take as a pitcher. You get a 3-1 count, you get a fly ball lazy off the end of the bat on a 3-1 pitch, you will certainly take that to the bank.
I love to see that from Courtright there. And again, you avoid the hard hit contact. That's a routine fly ball. Ball stats catching that one every single time.
And that's a good pitch there by Courtright. Jumps ahead in the count 0-1. Third baseman Bryce Thacker, the hitter for the Panthers. And that one darts over the outside as well. Looks like some kind of cutter slider action there from Courtright. Definitely has some right to left movement. And that one's a check swing. Appeal down to first. First base umpire says that he held up. Overall, still a very good pitch there by Courtright. Almost got the chase, but Thacker able to check his swing according to the first base umpire.
It's a good 0-2 pitch. It's what you want to do. It's meant to be a chase. There's no chance it catches the zone. If you get the swing, you get it. If you don't, you don't. He leaned into that.
In fact, Courtright, they're going to rule it a hit by pitch. It looked like one of those situations where the breaking ball didn't break. Courtright having a discussion with the home plate umpire to no avail. And just like that, Thacker's aboard. 1 on, 1 out. Stepping in now, the right fielder, Sean Baxter. Just got to shake that off of your Courtright, and that one just missed the zone, 1-0. It's one ground ball away from getting out of the inning. Trying to dot the outside corner. Looks like it just missed off the edge, and Courtright has run the count to 2-0. 7th spot in the lineup for the Panthers. Quickly working. 2-0 pitch is a called strike. They'll check on the runner at first base, and diving back in safely is Thacker.
Good pitch there from Courtright.
That was a much-needed strike. Did not want to go 3-0. Now the 2-1. That one stung out towards center field. That's going to get down in front of Ballstat on a hop. They're not going to challenge his arm as Thacker will glide into second base. We'll have 2 on with 1 out. And getting ready to stand in, we're going to have a pinch hitter. It's going to be normally number 21, wearing number 52 today, Enrique Diaz. Diaz earned the start in yesterday's game for Ferrum. Off to a solid start in the year is Diaz. 333 average, no home runs, 4 RBIs. Only 2 strikeouts against 3 walks, and it does have the platoon advantage as a left-handed hitter.
Pinch runner at first base as well, I believe, as this one's in the dirt. Big throw, doesn't get him. Good attempt there by Nelson, but instead the runners will advance. I believe it's 23, Cannon Daub, the pinch runner at second base.
2 now in scoring position for the Panthers. We'll see what the infield does. Looks like Coach Scally is going to play the infield back, surrender the run. The potential go-ahead run. And that one's put in play to first. Whitmer will step on the bag. The Panthers take the lead 2-1 here in the top of the 6th. But that does... Trying to avoid the big inning. This is showing a lot of faith in the Piedmont offense, and so far this year they've rewarded that faith. We'll see what they can do now, down 2-1. Now Courtright going to try to limit the damage with the number 9 hitter Jaden Johnson, who lashed a single his last time up. And that's a swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch there by Courtright to jump ahead 0-1.
Big pitch here, Joseph, and again, this is, like you said, it's a big coaching decision there. You choose not to bring the infield in, and, of course, hindsight 2020 was a ground ball, probably would have kept the run from scoring, but again, Coach Scally willing to surrender 1 run in the belief that his offense can find at least 1 with the 12 remaining outs they have to work with.
0-2 count now to Johnson. Reached out and pokes it to third. Carlson to his left, steps, throws, and fires across in time to nab Johnson. Court ride limits the damage, but Ferrum takes the lead. Lions trail 2-1. We go to the bottom of the 6th at Loudermilk Field. Welcome back to Loudermilk Field. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Ferrum leads Piedmont 2-1. Trace Kate will lead things off. Have a couple of changes on the defensive side for the Panthers that we'll get to momentarily as Kate tries to bunt one, bunts it foul. New third baseman is Enrique Ortiz, who came in to pinch hit. New second baseman is Cannon Daub, who came in to pinch run. And in right field now, the former third baseman, Bryce Thacker, he'll move to right. And another checks, this time a check swing, and this one fouled away. And just like that, Trace Kate finds himself down the count 0-2.
Got to battle up here if you're Trace Kate again, and it starts with the leadoff spot. Every inning getting on base, providing an opportunity for this team to get back in this game.
And a late strike 3 call. Kate looks like he does not agree with that one, but he'll be down on strikes for the second time this afternoon. And not the start you're looking for in the 6th if you're the Lions, but we'll see what Carson Stravinskas can do at the plate. He has reached base via walk and hit by pitch in his 2 plate appearances so far. That one misses down and in.
Nice.
Good piece of hitting. That one gets down into right field. Stravinskas will take a wide turn but hold up at first base as Thacker retrieves it. That's his 3rd time on base this afternoon. Carson Stravinskas gets things started, a 1-out base knock.
Well, Joseph, that hit started in the on-deck circle when Stravinskas noticed the umpire giving that outside strike. Kate didn't like the call. It is what it is. Pitcher throws the same pitch that he just struck Kate out on. Stravinskas is sitting on it.
That's one where you have to be willing to give up some power to go to the opposite field. This one is, looks like it hit the runner.
It should be a dead ball. It should be a dead ball. The runner at second is out. The runner at first stays.
Yes, I believe that is, you're correct, Davis. That's what we should have. Just unfortunate that Stravinskas got clipped by that ground ball. It was going to be a tough play by Cannon Daub to his left. And good piece of hitting by Nathan Mix trying to go the opposite way as well, but just unfortunate for the Lions. Mix and Stravinskas will trade places. Piedmont gets a little extra speed on the bases at first, and James Whitmer will have an opportunity with 2 outs and 1 on, and he takes ball 1 outside, 1-0.
Yeah, that's one of those things, it's a rarity in baseball, especially at this level where runners are so aware of the fact that obviously you have to dodge the baseball. But a good understanding there from the umpires of what happens when that does occur. Obviously, Mix running hard just in case. But
got the uniform dirty for no reason.
Yeah, got it dirty, but it'll look good for the pictures afterwards. But again, a great job by everyone involved to understand what happens when a whack play like that does occur.
Weber back in the count now. Works it back in his favor. 3-0. And that's that 4-pitch walk. And now Piedmont will move a runner into scoring position, and we're going to turn the lineup over. Cole Ellis will have another chance with the runner in scoring position. As we mentioned earlier, he has been one of the many red-hot hitters in the Piedmont lineup, but maybe the hottest of them all. He's 1 for 3 so far today. Came up with the bases loaded his last time up, and 2 outs. Was unable to get the run home. We'll see if he can tie this ball game or potentially give the Lions the lead here. And that will be a blistering fastball over the outside corner of the knees. Good, well-located pitch there by Chaffin to jump ahead 0-1.
And it's a good take by Ellis. Again, you just watched Whitmer walk on 4 pitches. I mean, you can't come up swinging at that.
And good take again. That was a very competitive pitch by Chaffin. Even better take by Ellis. Absolutely. Good point, Davis. That was, sometimes you just got to tip your cap. Pitcher makes a good pitch and trust that you're going to get your chance later on in the at-bat. Here's the 1-1. And that's a fly ball out toward right field. Battling the sun is the new right fielder Thacker, but he'll back up and make the grab. Lions strand 2 again. They trail 2-1 as we head to the top of the 7th. Rolling right along to the top of the 7th inning here at Loudermilk Field. Ferrum leads Piedmont 2-1. Joe Garwood, Davis Barlow here with you. You're listening to watching Piedmont Athletics on YouTube. First pitch swing, and looks like Torres just got out ahead of that one for a long strike number 1. Zach Courtwright into his 3rd inning of work for the Lions. Has done a solid job of relief already. Looks like Piedmont does have some action behind him in the bullpen. Tyler Roon appears to be throwing for Piedmont as Courtwright misses down and away. If you weren't with us earlier, Torres led off the game in a loud way with a solo home run off Piedmont starter Adam Mativier. And gets jammed here. Infield pop-up over to make the grab is Colton Hicks. An easy first out for Courtwright. And you certainly will take that.
Next up the bat for the Panthers.
I'll say it's a great sequence there, and it's what you need, especially, you know, of course, after conceding the run. It's a good choice to leave, or it's a bold choice, I should say, to leave Courtwright in it. It turns out to be a good choice if he gets through this inning, and if he, you know, again, struggles with this inning, you might have to turn to that bullpen that does have some activity in it.
Courtwright out ahead in the count. You could say Ground ball foul from Chitwood, who's been the hottest hitter on the planet, or at least the hottest hitter in Demorest, Georgia this weekend. He is 8 for 9 over this little 2-game sample that he's played in here. As Courtright loses that one arm side. 2-1 count to the left-handed hitting first baseman for the Panthers. That one, good pitch by Courtright. That's where location matters. If he leaves that one just a hair more to the outside, that could potentially be leaving the yard, but he got it in just enough that Chitwood was not quite able to square it up. 2-2 pitch, loses it arm side again. Count runs full 3-2. Looks like Courtright not happy with the baseball. Is going to get a new one. And good breaking ball, swung over the top of a miss by Chitwood. Good block by Nelson. He'll fire a strike to first base. And considering how hot Chitwood has been at the plate, that's an incredibly worked at bat there by Courtright for out number 2.
Just the second time that Chitwood has gotten out here at Loudermilk Field. And, Joseph, now he's only hitting 800 on the weekend rather than 900 if he reaches there.
Yeah, that's
absurd.
An absurd, small sample size, but still absurd. And Courtright working off the confidence of that last at bat, works a first pitch strike to Nick Funk, the DH. And that one's put in play. Looks like we're going to give it a look. That's going to be in play and in foul territory. Nice grab by James Whitmer and a big shutdown inning for Courtright. And we're going to stretch here at Piedmont, or at Loudermilk Field, as Piedmont trails 2-1. Welcome back to Loudermilk Field here on the campus of Piedmont University. Lions trailing Ferrum 2-1. 9 outs to play with for Piedmont. Looking for a late rally here on Sunday afternoon. On to the ball game to pitch for the Panthers. Their 4th pitcher of the afternoon. So they've done a bullpen game so far. Nobody throwing more than a couple. This will be the right-hander, number 53, Dawson Wiggins. Wiggins making his 4th appearance of the season. He's worked 4 innings so far with an 18 ERA, so looking to right the ship a little bit. Wiggins has, in those 4 innings, allowed 7 hits, 8 runs with 6 walks and 3 strikeouts. So potentially a golden opportunity for the Lions to tie and take the lead here in the bottom of the 7th, as we're going to take a pitch high. Colton Hicks works a 1-0 count.
2, 3, 4 here for Piedmont. This is arguably your best chance to manufacture runs here. And again, we sound like broken records, but it starts with the leadoff batter getting on and giving some life to the inning.
Good start with Hicks jumping ahead 2-0 in the count. And just like that, 3-0. As we mentioned, command has been an issue for Wiggins so far to start his campaign. Has issued more walks than innings pitched, which is not what you want to see as a pitcher on your stat line. And just like that, right on cue, a 4-pitch walk to the number 2 hitter. And the last thing you want to do is put runners on ahead of Carter Ballstat. An interesting strategy decision here if you're the Lions. Ballstat obviously one of the best hitters in all of Division III baseball. Massive power, but the pitcher just came into the game and threw 4 straight balls. Do you give him the green light or no?
Unfortunately, no. You're in a situation where you really need a run. Pitcher just threw 4 straight non-competitive pitches. I think this is a hard take for me. Make it 5. Oh!
Almost caught Colton Hicks napping there.
They called that a strike.
Wow.
So that's a strike on the pitch. I don't agree with that call personally, but obviously up here in the booth, not down on the field level, so umpire deems that caught the corner.
So the 0-1 now to Ballstat, and he skies it straight up into shallow right field. Sun could be an issue. Coming on, charging it late was the right fielder Bryce Thacker. He'll make the catch. And one is retired here for the Lions in the bottom of the 7th. Kyle Carlson, the lone RBI of the afternoon for Piedmont. He drove home Ballstat way back in the 1st inning. Piedmont scored its lone run all the way back in the 1st. They've been held off the scoreboard since then. And now we'll see what Carlson can do. We'll see if Hicks is in motion. As we mentioned earlier, tied for the team leading stolen bases this season. Carlson got a good pitch to hit and fouls it straight back 0-1.
Looks like he potentially thought about taking second base there, elected to stop before fully committing. Now behind 0-1, Carlson, again, you're in a particular situation where you have to be picky enough to guarantee solid contact, but also, can't be overly picky. If he hangs a breaking ball, you have to be ready to mash it.
Wiggins will check on the runner. Hicks back easily before the 0-1. He'll check again. And that one will get all the way to the backstop. Hicks was running anyway, so he'll take a wide run around second. So he was running anyway. He should get credit for his 12th stolen base of the season, even though the pitch sailed to the backstop, eliminated any chance that the catcher would have. Probably was going to be a stolen base anyway. And now, just like that, tying run in scoring position.
Now Carlson's at bat becomes massive here. I mean, a ground ball to the right side potentially gets through or even advances the runner. And like we've harped on here, the control, a major issue right now.
That one stung. Nice play by the third baseman, Diaz. He will look the runner back at second and fire a strike across the diamond to nab Carlson by a step and a half. That ball was like it found Diaz's glove, not the other way around.
I also think Diaz had him hung up at second.
Yeah, that was an interesting play. He could have tried to cut off the lead runner in scoring position. But instead, he looked him back and got the out at first. Pretty well played in overall by Diaz, and now it's going to be up to Tyler Nelson with 2 outs.
You're definitely going to look back on it, though, if Nelson singles here and Hicks scores.
Absolutely. Nelson will take a called strike over the outside corner. Nelson came into this game hitting .450 on the season. 3rd on the team with 12 RBIs. Breaking ball skied up the ladder, nearly the same spot that Ballstat's ball landed, and it will be harmlessly into the glove of the right fielder Thacker. Lions cannot capitalize on the leadoff base knock, and that will end things here in the bottom of the 7th inning. We'll go to the 8th. Piedmont trails 2-1. We go to the top half of the 8th inning here at Loudermilk Field. Piedmont trailing Ferrum 2-1. The series finale. Lions off to a solid 8-3 start to the season, looking to go 9-3. Ferrum looking to snap a losing skid. The Panthers came into the game 3-7. Never know with baseball though, as Courtwright will start his 4th inning of work and miss down and away for ball 1.
An important 4th inning of work as well. I mean, you've got to turn this over with a chance for Piedmont to use their last 6 outs to get back in this contest. Ground ball to second, fielded well, throw to first, and that's how you do it. 2 pitches, 1 out.
Got to be impressed with the work for Courtwright. He is on the hook for the loss, but really not really much fault of him. He's done a good job out of the bullpen in relief of Mativier. Overall, the Lions pitching has been outstanding this entire weekend.
Yeah, it's been a great weekend on the bump for Piedmont, and again, outside of today, the offense is, looked as about as high octane as you can ask for, but just 5 hits thus far in 7 completed innings.
Yeah, Lion pitching is, as we mentioned earlier, sometimes your offense is not going to have its A-plus stuff, and your pitchers have to keep the team in the ball game, and that's what they've done so far. This one's poked out toward right center field by Clayton Michael, and that one had no carry on it. It's backing up into the shallow right field grass is Colton Hicks to make the grab. 2 quick outs for Courtwright. And now it'll be Bryce Thacker, who started the game at third base, moved to right field, and has been busy there the last couple of innings.
This is what Coach Scally ordered here, was a quick inning out of Courtwright. You'd love to just sit Thacker down and get right back to the dish and right back to trying to manufacture offense.
Courtwright finding good rhythm, cuts at a fastball over the outside edge for strike 1.
There it is.
A little soft line drive. That ball had some weird slice on it, but no issues for Hicks. He handled all 3 chances in that inning with ease. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Piedmont needs a run. Ferrum leads 2-1. Right fielder Trace Kate stepping into the box for the Lions here in the bottom of the 8th, trailing 2-1 against Ferrum. Dawson Wiggins on for his 2nd inning of work for the Panthers. 4th different pitcher the Panthers have used in a bullpen game. That bullpen has been more than up to the task, as they have kept the Lions off balance throughout today.
I'll be honest, Joseph, I did not expect to see him back out here. I was expecting the 5th pitcher of the day. It was a shaky last inning. Yes, he escaped without any damage, but I mean, in such a tight ball game, you really want to instill confidence as a pitcher, especially in your coach here. But I guess there was enough to warrant bringing him back out.
1-1. That one will be a breaking ball that spins high. 2-1 the count to Kate. Kate transfer from Berry College. Off to a solid start to his Piedmont career. And a big swing and a miss. Kate has been, looks like just a little bit off today. He's swung through a number of letter high or belt to letter high fastballs. And now he's going to have to protect in the count. 2-2 2-2 decision looming. And looks like one spiked in the dirt. Good take there by Kate, and we'll run things full 3-2. Piedmont has only have 5 hits so far in the game. They've had a fair number of base runners.
Thanks to the hit by pitches.
Hit by pitches and a few walks, and it's been just the runners in scoring position numbers that have cost him. Kate just out ahead of that one. That was a good swing.
That is launched foul.
Just needs to straighten it out a little bit. He was all over that pitch, though. We'll see, maybe. I expect something to go out of third. They have had some luck with Kate getting him to swing through fastballs near the letters. We'll see if he goes back there here, and he goes down and away and just yanked it into the left-handed batter's box, and that's a leadoff walk.
And Joseph, again, I mean, it's the second time we've talked about this with the Panthers pitchers. Those are the ones you want back. Your 2-2 pitch, a non-competitive ball in the dirt. Then you throw a pitch that you don't want to repeat that gets launched for a long foul ball, and then you throw a non-competitive pitch on 3-2. It's not the type of pitches you need to make in that kind of situation, especially against a guy like Kate, who's already been victim to chasing some of the ball fours already today.
We'll have a mound visit. Head coach Ryan Brittle of the Panthers will make his way out there. We saw Luke Harris and Piedmont assistant coach Luke Harris and Stravinskas, who's getting ready to step in the box, have a little discussion down the third baseline. Interesting strategy situation here for the Lions. They're down 2-1. Stravinskas has had a good day at the plate. He's reached all 3 times, had a sharp single to right field his last at bat. He's a DH/catcher. Not sure how adept he is handling the bat, so we'll see if he's going to lay down the sacrifice bunt or let him swing away.
I would have to think, Joseph, especially with this being the designated hitter position, that if you were going to bunt, it would be a pinch hitter situation. I find it very shocking that you would leave your catcher in, or again your backup catcher in the DH spot right now to drop a sacrifice bunt, but maybe that's the play. Maybe Stravinskas handles the bat really well, and in the same way that you're not doing it to kind of disguise it, it just ends up working.
Another thing to consider is continue potentially try to swipe that bag with the runner at first. Kate, he is just 2 for 2 on stolen bases, does not run a ton, or has not run a ton. He's going to square to bunt, at least show it, and then we'll have a pickoff attempt at first as Kate dives back in safely.
I think this is going to be pulled back here. You can see the Ferrum coaches moving the second baseman back towards the second base bag. They don't think this is actually a sacrifice bunt attempt, more of a distraction here, and that Kate's on the move.
Yeah, usually if you're going to show bunt that early, it's not going to end up being a sacrifice bunt. He does pull it back. The ball gets away, and Piedmont's going to get the base anyway. That worked out extremely advantageous to the Lions, and now you can either try to bunt the runner over to third base with 1 out, and that sets up a lot of opportunities to score the run. So we'll see what they're doing here.
I'll be honest, now I think you do drop it down. With the lack of offense in this game and the situation you're in, the runner on second, nobody out here, I mean, I think it's crucial that he gets to third. I think you drop this bunt. I think this is a real square here, and you do your best to put it towards third. Pickoff attempt, Kate back in time.
Long release point on those pickoff attempts for Wiggins. Looks like you can, if you're Kate, you can get even a little bit more of a lead. Also dangerous. Pitchers throwing to second base is always a dangerous proposition. 1-0, big swing for Stravinskas, and he looks like they're going to let him swing at least that time. And usually if you're going to let a guy swing with no strikes, you're definitely going to let him swing with 1.
And that's a tough situation as well. I mean, that's right down the middle. That's a great pitch to bunt. So, I mean, they have faith in Stravinskas here. And you'd like to think he could spray one all over the yard here and then just drop one in somewhere. But 2 big swing and misses, the faith is running out.
Ferrum was still playing the bunt there. The first baseman, Chitwood, was way in on the grass. If you're Stravinskas, you want to have the approach you had in just his last plate appearance. He was content to poke one the other way to right field. And with 2 strikes, that definitely needs to be the approach here. Another check on the runner at second, easily back. He was standing on second base before the ball was even released out of the hand of the pitcher, Wiggins.
I think you have to throw that or the pitch clock doesn't reset. So it's a bold move to attempt that twice, but I guess it kind of makes sense.
That was lined off of the back of the pitcher, gets away. Stravinskas is going to reach. We'll check on the pitcher Wiggins. Hopefully he's okay. Looks like he is. That ball was absolutely blistered by Stravinskas, and that's the one that you're always dreading as a pitcher. The rocket comebacker, and it looked like it caught him on the back, maybe on the shoulder. As Piedmont athletic trainer Gabby Lauder will trot out to the mound to check on Wiggins. Looks like he's waving her off, like saying he's okay. He's probably going to feel that tomorrow, but they might let him throw a warm-up pitch or two to make sure he's all right.
It's good to see. Always a scary situation. We had another one of those yesterday where it was a head level and the pitcher did just enough to get a glove on it there. Fortunately, Wiggins not so fortunate, but that one not hit nearly as hard as the one yesterday.
Yeah, hit pretty well. Luckily for Wiggins, maybe Stravinskas got a little bit off the end of the bat. Didn't quite have the extreme exit velocity that you're worried about. And it looks like he's a gamer. Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner at first base.
It is Skylar Willis.
Willis got the start at DH. Capable with the bat in his hands, too, so if he needs to stay in for Stravinskas, if the bet lineup comes back around later on in this game, a capable hitter as well, in addition to a little better runner than the catcher Stravinskas. And we'll see what Piedmont does. A lot of options, runners in the corners.
And it's going to fall to Ferrum here because you know Willis is running here. Do you make the throw to second? He actually doesn't run. This one's played into center. It's just going to get down, and that should tie this ball game.
Crossing home plate is Trace Kate, tied up 2-2. Nathan Mix comes through in the clutch, and Moore is on tap for Piedmont. 2 on, nobody out, and James Whitmer at the plate. Mix has been all over it so far today. He has a couple hits to show for it. His last at bat, he hit the ball through the right side that actually hit Stravinskas, who was the runner at first. And now we'll see what they do with the go-ahead run at second, an insurance run at first. Whitmer at the plate. Corners are in. Middle infield about halfway. Whitmer gets the bunt down. Third baseman Diaz will charge. The throw to first is good. The second baseman Daub was covering, so Whitmer out on the sac bunt 5-4. And you typically don't see a lot of first basemen dropping down beautiful sacrifice bunts, but Whitmer couldn't have rolled that one out there any better.
Whitmer does a great job handling the pad in the batter's box there, and that's a huge, huge bunt play. So now second and third, just one down, and you just mentioned it, Mix has 3 hits on the day. Rewinding back there, he's 3 for 4.
That's exactly what you want. Not something you necessarily expect out of your 8-hole hitting shortstop, but he's delivered so far today. Now the infield will play in across the board. Cole Ellis, you just need to get something in play in the outfield of decent depth, and they're actually going to put him on.
That's a good choice.
It sets up the force at any base,
and you avoid pitching to a 500 hitter. The boos out of the crowd. You definitely, feel it's a little dodgy, but I think it's a good choice.
For the Piedmont side, you're not exactly in a bad spot because you walk one close to 500 hitter for a guy who came into the game hitting 455 in Colton Hicks, and it's going to set up the potential for a big inning for the Lions.
And this would also create a save opportunity if you cross one run here, which, again, you would think goes to Carter Ballstat.
That one will miss down and away. Decently competitive pitch there by Wiggins. Good take by Colton Hicks, who's shown extremely good plate discipline so far in his Piedmont career. Here comes the 1-0. And that one misses farther outside. Now Hicks has Wiggins right where he wants him.
Looks like we're going to get a mound visit here as, again, try to settle your pitcher. You cannot afford a walk here. Nowhere left to put him. They're actually going to make a pitching change mid-at-bat.
That's got a tough spot to put the new reliever in, but we're going to step away for a little bit and we'll be right back to set up the scene here from Loudermilk Field. Welcome back to Loudermilk Field. Ferrum in a tough spot here. Piedmont's got the bases loaded. They've tied the game already. And the ball game in a 2-0 count is Matthew Shepard, the new long-locked right-handed pitcher for Ferrum. Shepard, 1-0 record, a ERA of 6 even so far through his first 3 appearances. Does have the lone save that the Panthers have. In a spot here where if the walk is issued, the walk will actually be charged to the previous pitcher, Wiggins. However, if he gets him out, then obviously he gets credit for that. Now Colton Hicks in a hitter's count, 2-0, will face his second different pitcher during the same at-bat. Has to be an odd feeling, but here comes the 2-0. And that one sails wide, 3-0. Low 3/4 arm slot for Shepard. And now this has to be about as aggressive take sign as you can possibly give.
Yeah, and Shepard tried to guide that one in there, Joseph. He didn't throw it, and it's the rough part about inheriting a 2-0 count. You don't have time to settle in. Good job throwing that one in there. But again, and rather than 1-1, it's 3-1.
Got to be extremely selective here. If you're Colton Hicks, go ahead, potentially winning run is standing 90 feet away, and it's driven foul. That was probably going to be a strike. Giving a look is Thacker, but it'll drift out of play into the Ferrum bullpen where they have more action behind Shepard. And here comes a huge pitch, probably the highest leverage pitch of the game so far. Here comes the 3-2. Poked on the ground to short. Nice play on the hop by the shortstop. The double play is not turned. The second baseman sailed the throw. 2 runs are going to score for the Lions. And just like that, Piedmont takes a 4-2 lead here in the 8th.
Baseball is a game of routine and simplicity there, and all you have to do is stick the throw on the double play. Instead, you sail it, it bounces off the wall, 2 score, and now Piedmont a 2-run lead. Ballstat at the plate and a chance to close it when we head to the top of the 9th. But Joseph, I'd like to think they're not done here just yet.
Ballstat's going to have a word to say as well. And he's hit by a pitch for the second time today. And that will move another runner in scoring position. On the last one, on the ground ball by Hicks, you really couldn't have more of a tailor-made double play opportunity. It was a little bit of a tough hop for the shortstop, Clayton Michael. He scooped it over to Cannon Daub and maybe just rushed the throw a little bit. And that was enough for not 1 but 2 runs to score.
Yeah, and then Ballstat, like you said, hit for the second time today. And lo and behold, it's another breaking ball that misses the break part of the equation. Just hits Ballstat in the lower leg, and now 2 on with Carlson at the plate.
And dangerous hitter, chance for Piedmont to pile on here in the bottom of the 8th, make the 9th inning a little bit less stressful for all of us. Here comes the 1-0 to Carlson. And a big swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch there. He was trying to launch that one up onto the hill beyond left field. Count even 1-1. And that one will just miss the inside corner. Looked like that was a decent pitch.
I would say I think 3 of the 4 parties in that equation, being the catcher, pitcher, batter, and umpire, I think 3 of the 4 thought it was a strike, and the one that makes the decision did not.
Either way, swings the count plus toward the batter, and then we'll have a check on the runner at second. Diving back in safely, there is Colton Hicks. Piedmont leads 4-2 in the 8th. Lions have scored 3 times, came into this inning trailing 2-1, and have turned the game in its favor. The 2-1. And that one will drop low in the dirt for ball 3, and the pitcher Shepard is a ball away from loading the bases. Catcher Tyler Nelson is awaiting in the on-deck circle.
It's great work back there to keep the runners at first and second by the Ferrum catcher there.
Nelson would be the 9th hitter to bat in the inning. And we'll have a long pause. Looks like potentially a pitch clock situation, as going to award Kyle Carlson first base on the walk.
If I'm Ferrum, I'm not upset with that. You really don't want to throw a 3-1 pitch to Carlson in that situation either way.
Exactly, and now you set up the force at any base. You have an almost as dangerous hitter in Tyler Nelson coming up, which is another reason why the link to Piedmont's lineup this year has kind of been a thing that has made a lot of the difference. Last year, the top to middle of the order had to carry a lot of the weight, and one of those big differences is Tyler Nelson, who's an outstanding defensive catcher already, and this year he has turned his offense up to a new level and moved up to that number 5 spot in the order and have a chance to break open the game, as Shepard looked like, as you said earlier, Davis, guided that one in the dirt, 1-0 the count.
Yeah, it's a lack of confidence right now, Joseph. That's the biggest problem. When you try to guide the ball in there, you're afraid to throw a ball or afraid to, throw one in the dirt. And ultimately, unfortunately, when you're like that, that's what it leads to. So you really just need to fire this in with confidence. That one's much better, but not going to get the call. It'll move the count to 2-0.
Big time hitters count for Nelson. Lions 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors so far today, and that one will find the middle of the zone. Will look like a little 2-seam backup fastball action to get back in the count, 2-1.
Had to have a strike there if you're Shepard.
And it looks like the same pitch there. That was even better located on the outside edge. Nelson took it for strike 2, and we'll have 2-2 count with 2 outs. Bases loaded, bottom of the 8th. Piedmont leads at 4-2. And Nelson stays alive. That was a good pitch by Shepard. Good job by Nelson to spoil it.
Not quite sure how Nelson even got a piece of that ball. I thought it was already in the catcher's mitt when he swung.
Like a late swing decision there, but able to fight it off anyway. Here comes another 2-2. And Nelson pops it up on the infield. Daub settles under and makes the grab to get Ferrum out of the inning without any further damage. However, Piedmont takes the lead. They lead at 4-2. We go to the top of the 9th, and let's watch Piedmont Athletics on YouTube. Piedmont closer Carter Ballstat into the ball game. Misses with ball 1. Lions with a 2-run lead and count now even. We're going to have a pinch hitter up for the Panthers. Number 43, Christian Barcroft, is into the ball game. And a swing and a miss. Ball stat jumps ahead 1-2.
This is a rough spot for Barcroft here. You're on the bench, cold, haven't seen any action, and then you get sent up here to face Carter Ballstat, and that's what happens. 3 fastballs, 2 of them straight past you.
Swing and a miss. Not ready for the sheer velocity that he was going to face with Carter Ballstat, and that is 1 up, 1 down for the Piedmont closer. A couple changes for the Lions as Ballstat came from center field to pitch. The new center fielder is number 13, freshman Matt Dupuis. As Ballstat misses high to Enrique Diaz. 1 under the count.
Diaz got to generate something here, got to get something going. Jaden Johnson waits on deck. He's been seeing the ball well today, hasn't seen it particularly well here at Loudermilk Field up until this contest.
2-0 pitch, and Ballstat finds his zone to get back in the count, 2-1. And fastball sails out of the zone, 3-1. Don't want to put anybody on with a free pass with the top of the order and the dangerous Ozzy Torres looming. Just going to challenge. You got a fastball like Carter's. Sometimes that it really makes a difference when you fall behind 3-1. You can just challenge hitters with your fastball top of the zone, and most of the time it's going to work out for you. As Diaz spoiled that one back to the screen, 3-2. And that was a very late swing by Diaz. Spoils it back foul. And we'll do the 3-2 one more time.
Doing his best to just hang on up there and force a mistake out of Ballstat, and he's gonna get it. They'll call it either down or in, either one, maybe both. This is a pinch hitter now.
Didn't miss by much, as we'll have another pinch hitter. This is going to be number 8, Tyson Miesemer.
Number 8, Tyson Miesemer.
So Miesemer, another cold bat called off the bench to make something happen here. That's a good take on the first pitch. Better work back there from Tyler Nelson. Used his shoulder to stop that one.
Yeah, looks like he felt that one too. Coming into the game, Miesemer 2 for 12 on the season, 164 average. Double play ends the ball game in favor of the Lions. And check swing. That was a lot of movement on it. Miesemer started to swing and couldn't stop it. Count even 1-1.
I actually got a piece of that ball as well, so that'll stop the runner from advancing on what would have been a wild pitch. Great pitch there from Ballstat. That one's up in the zone. Can't quite climb and reach it, and it's fouled into the stands here.
You rarely see that here, the netting behind home plate. And now 1-2, multiple options for Ballstat. Probably you're going to see one of two. You're going to see the letter high fastball or the nasty breaking ball. Gets the letter high fastball, and Miesemer barely gets a piece of it and fouls it straight back once again. Definitely has him set up for the big hook right here. One-two pitch, goes fastball again, and Miesemer can't really catch up to it, but he's doing enough to keep his fate alive and see another pitch. Another 1-2, breaking ball, and that one is just foul. Past a diving, or off the tip of the glove of a diving James Whitmer. Couple of ideas. I mean, one thing is you don't want to speed up the bat of a guy who can't catch up to your fastball. So we'll see what Ballstat does with another 1-2. Chop to the ground. Shortstop Mix will take it himself. Throw to first. That's a double play, and that's a Piedmont Series sweep. The Lions go 3-0 at home for the Piedmont Spring Break Tournament. They cap it off with a 8th inning comeback victory and a 4-2 win over the Ferrum Panthers. Lions win 4-2 here. Winning pitcher will be Zach Courtwright. Outstanding relief work for number 44. Loss goes to Dawson Wiggins for the Ferrum Panthers, and Carter Ballstat the closer delivers another save, and the Lions improved to 8-3 on the season. Ferrum continues its losing streak. And Davis, successful weekend of action here for Piedmont over the last 2 days.
Great weekend of action here. Excited to, again, with the circumstances, squeeze as many games as we did into reality, almost like a 36-hour window there. So everything went great here, especially if you're a Lions fan. You'll take the victories where you can get them, and it's a long season. This is a great start. You want to carry this momentum all the way to the end.
Next time we'll see action here at Loudermilk Field. The Lions will be back on Tuesday at 6 p.m. hosting the Oglethorpe Stormy Petrels. So long from Loudermilk Field for Joseph Garwood and Davis Barlow. We hope to see you again next time from Loudermilk Field.